man widely seen as the godfather of artificial intelligence has quit his job at Google, warning of the dangers of AI.
But for others, they are data. A future where my identity can be stolen just like that. Where I can go to prison for things that I would never do.
The new AI revolution has been identified with the potential to instigate a huge shift in power dynamics. But one thing seems to remain constant anyway. For centuries, it's been a constant struggle between the rich and the poor, with the rich constantly seeking to wield some sort of dominance over the latter. In this video, we'll look at how AI is helping tighten the grip that the rich have on the poor and how this might affect humans later on. During the Industrial Revolution, the gap between the rich and powerful widened a lot more, giving the ones with the means control over the lives of the lower class. They owned homes and the means of production and distribution and could make decisions that would benefit just them. Projections are we're likely in the face of such situations occurring once more with the introduction of AI. Heads of companies and organizations are being equipped with the power to grow at a much faster rate than they would, depending only on human labor and present-day computing power. For quite some months now, we've been quite fixated on the topic surrounding the possible dangers we face directly from AI, such as loss of jobs and world dominance. But we seem to be missing one key factor in play here. AI models depend on very large amounts of data to function efficiently. Aside from the data used in training these models, they require that you make a lot of your own personal data available on the platform for a more personalized experience. ChatGPT-4, which is believed to be the most advanced generative AI in the market today, is estimated to have about 100 billion parameters, and it's still growing every day with each use. The history of revolutions in America is a long and complex one. However, one common theme is that these revolutions have often been sparked by economic inequality and the oppression of the poor by the rich. Today, the gap between the rich and the poor in America is wider than ever before. Many people are struggling to make ends meet. The cost of living is rising while wages are stagnant. Well, for centuries, the struggle between the rich and powerful and the underdogs in society has been a recurrent one, resulting in many revolutions that have claimed the lives of many. Due to the ratio of the poor to the wealthy in most societies, applying physical force on the poor as a way of keeping them subservient hasn't really proved to be effective. In today's society, such control has taken a new turn as the mainstream media has been automated in most cases to shape public opinion about certain issues. Take, for instance, the divide between the Republican-based Fox News and Democrat-based CNN struggle in the United States. But it seems that we're about to witness a new turn of events with the introduction of AI in our daily activities. Having control over the lower class in society is a means for the rich to remain on top while exploiting the lower classes who provide the labor and resources required to run the society, while they reap the proceeds. We'll look at some of the possible ways AI can be used to shape and control public opinion on certain issues. Before we go into this though, it's important to know that AI on its own isn't inherently dangerous. However, some human factors come into play which can feed the system with bias and other dangerous traits. This has been the reason experts have warned against hurriedly releasing these models without adequate checks and supervision. AI has a lot of potential for good and can be a new way for humans to go about discoveries, which could change the way we live for the better, leaving room for us to explore other things that might be important to us. Regardless though, when in the wrong hands, AI could be used for social media surveillance. Now, most of the generative AI models we have today have access to the internet, and we don't exactly know to what limit they've been granted access to personal info. It's quite possible that in an event where some powerful people feel threatened, AI could be used to monitor social media platforms for dissent and identify potential activists and troublemakers. This information could be used to suppress dissent opinions or to target individuals with harassment or intimidation. To this day, some companies still restrict their workers from using certain generative AI platforms for official purposes. The fear here is that the information crucial for the survival of companies could get leaked to their competitors. Also, the content that you're allowed to view on any social media platform could be controlled using an AI algorithm. Just as in the mainstream media, AI can be used to manipulate your algorithms to view certain contents, which have been designed to make you support certain views about different issues. Since AI is going into everything, facial recognition facilities could be used to track and monitor targeted individuals or groups. With the introduction of technologies like the orb, such biometric details could be used to compromise the security of individuals and groups that seem to not agree with the status quo. With such technologies being linked to things like personal finances, they could be used as a form of blackmail on targets if hacked. This information can be used to control people's movements, to target them with advertising, or to suppress dissent. With the amount of personal data available on the internet today, AI can easily evaluate a person to identify strengths and weaknesses. This way, powerful people with access to the control of AI-powered systems can predict people who will likely try to change certain policies. Dismantling structures that will possibly stir the spirit of the masses into action is a crucial step in shaping public opinion. That way, the masses are left demoralized and believing they've been defeated. Using AI to track individuals or groups with the potential to lead to revolutions and protests can be termed predictive policing. When such individuals or groups have been successfully identified, these systems can then be used to deploy preventative resources more efficiently. Such preventative measures could take any form, like blackmail, setup, or attack on personality as a means to destroy credibility. Also, such systems can be used to discriminate against certain groups of people and to create a climate of fear and distrust in the masses. And speaking of advancing bias against certain groups, the issue could get way worse than it seems. We're quickly approaching a future where AI could take over entirely from humans, taking charge of all the channels of production and distribution. And as machines, it's very likely that they'll act according to how they've been programmed. Now imagine a situation where developers have intentionally or unintentionally allowed some personal bias to guide content generated by these AI systems. They're basically expected to end up following that path. Bad and powerful players could exploit this via automated decision-making. As expected, AI is being used to develop automated decision-making systems that can make decisions about people's lives, such as whether they should be granted a loan, job, or housing. These systems can be biased against certain groups of people, and they can also be used to deny people access to essential services because they possess certain qualities that the AI deems unacceptable. Furthermore, algorithms could be intentionally manipulated to achieve certain goals. This is the major fear behind leaving heads of tech companies, which are into AI development, with so much power that could change the course of everything. Algorithmic manipulation could be used to develop algorithms that can be used to manipulate people's behavior. In the upcoming election in the United States, AI is expected to play a major role in the outcome, and it could be via this means. For example, these algorithms can be used to target people with political ads that are designed to influence their vote and discredit the other candidates. They can also be exploited by companies and organizations by being used to create addictive social media feeds that keep people scrolling and possibly picking certain products and services over others. For a while now, we've been fixated on the possible consequences of having AI domination, which looks mostly at a period where AI achieves singularity and is able to do way more than we could ever imagine. As much as these are very much valid threats, the one we just discussed now is very much imminent than the former. Some little measures could be applied to control the possibility of such ever taking place, although it might already be happening. First, AI developers are expected to show some level of transparency as it concerns the collection and processing of personal data. Making public the mode of collection of data required for training AI models will go a long way in putting every developer in check and prevent them from exceeding certain limits. Also, developers could extend data protection beyond the paid version of their AI models. But in a situation where this isn't feasible, making sure that users are warned about sharing personal information on such platforms could help. Secondly, governments could set up regulatory agencies that will oversee the development and usage of AI. People have been granted some level of privacy, and it should be illegal to spy on people without due cause. Algorithms on which AI systems operate should be duly explained to users, and not just that, users should be allowed to pick what content they would like to consume. It's also important to educate the public about the potential risks of AI and how to protect themselves from being manipulated. People should always be aware of the ways that their data is being collected and used, and they should be critical of the information that they see online. We'd like to get your opinion on this issue in the comments, as measures are required to ensure a society that caters to all. That'll be all for this video. Do follow us for more updates on AI.